Hey, Nina.
Hello, Nadine. Nice to be here.
Oh, so
Happy
lovely.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year to you. I'm so glad that we're here, we're live, we're online, we're ready to go. Oh my gosh, what a year it's been, and we can talk about all of that as we go through this journey. You are the 2015 cohort of certified high performance coaches, and another high performance coach that is talented at so many other things as well. It's so wonderful that when we have all these certified high performance coaches that are so aligned and in expertise in other things that they do. So it's really lovely to have everybody that I've had on these last, oh my gosh, what is it, about 7 or 10 days or whatever it is, to just come out. But you're the only one that we've had from the US. So it's great to
I'm special. Like I just said, I was just saying to you, I'm special. So thank you.
Well, I just wanted to have someone from the US because we all go and train from the UK in the US with HPX Life and Brendan Burchard, our mentor. And it's so great to have somebody who we go and see every other year.
It is. And I have to mention that you and I have a special connection because the first time we actually met, you were singing me happy birthday.
Yes, that's right.
I will never forget that experience because I had no idea that you were a singer and an opera singer to boot. So that was the most amazing experience that I will never forget.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. Well, good evening, everybody. Hi, I am Nadine Benjamin, and I'm a certified high performance coach. I'm an accredited NLP mind coach that is neuro, the brain, linguistic, how we speak to the brain, and programming, the patterns or the paradigms that we set up with the brain that we can use to make us limitless. And I love celebrating, championing, and connecting people. And today, one of the people that I'm connecting is Nina Amir. Nina is known as the inspiration to creation coach because she helps her clients combine their passion and purpose so they achieve more inspired results. It's Nina's mission to help people step into the best version of themselves, fulfill their purpose, and achieve their potential as they create lives that feed their souls. Nina is a hybrid author who has self-published 18 books and had as many as 12 books on Amazon's top 100 list and 6 on the same bestseller list at the same time. Her traditionally published books include How to Blog a Book, the Author Training Manual, and Creative Visualization for Writers. She's currently working on a book about authoring change and another on sacred story. Nina is one of, like myself, 800 elite certified high performance coaches working around the world. In this capacity, she strives to help people get from where they are to where they want to be in life faster than they thought possible and without anything getting in the way. As an author coach, Nina supports writers on the journey to successful authorship. Some of her clients have sold 300,000 plus copies of their books, landed deals with major publishing houses, and created thriving businesses around their books. She is the creator of a proprietary author training curriculum for writers and other coaches. She's an international speaker, an award-winning journalist and blogger, as well as the founder of National Nonfiction Writing Month, the Nonfiction Writers University, and the Inspired Creator Community. Wow.
I should have given you a shorter bio.
Let's get creative. Let's get creative. I love it. So, as I always say, everybody, Nina and myself, neither of us are medical doctors or medical psychiatrists. So if you need anything in that capacity, please, in the UK, ring 111 and really just know that there's support there for you. There's also the Samaritans, and if you know anybody that you know that still needs support, please pick up the phone to them. And you know is a bit shy, pick up the phone to them, let them know that you're there, especially tonight on New Year's Eve. Let's start the new year letting someone know that we care. We're not all as confident at picking up the phone or asking for help. But let me tell you, hashtag there is no shame in asking for help, and there is no shame in asking for support. So if you need it and you're feeling vulnerable, pick up the phone, pick up the phone to someone else, and let's get connected. So hi, Nina.
Hello.
Coming back to you. How do you define your version of high performance?
So I define it as continually stepping into the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
And that means deciding, who you want to be and taking action to become that person consistently on a very consistent basis. To me, it also means developing the habits and the mindsets that help you become that person. Because when you do that, then you more easily reach those new levels of high performance. And to me, high performance is not peak performance. It's not getting to the top of the mountain and then sliding down. It is about getting to a summit and then climbing to the next summit. So to me,
I love that.
Yes. So you really need to, you really need to step into being that person to do that, right? In every area of your life and to get the corresponding results.
Yeah.
I think that's how you actually achieve, we're recording this on New Year's Eve. So if you want to achieve your goals and keep your New Year's resolutions, you have to really work on developing those habits and mindsets that help you do that.
Yeah.
I'd add one other thing, and I think that it's about focusing on your life's work. So living a life that feeds your soul, which means getting done or being productive on the right things so that you don't have any regrets later, that you don't go around doing things that aren't important to you. So a high performer is really focused on what is important. Yeah. What is important to me to do in the world before I leave the world?
Nice.
Right?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, it's not getting stuck in the busy work, as Brendan would say, right? But to do our life's work and to make that contribution. And I think being a high performer means having it up front in your mind.
Yeah. So along those lines, what do you think makes you a high performer?
The first thing is my continual work on myself.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's just a process all the time.
Yeah.
And it's not a should. It's an internal desire to achieve my potential and to fulfill my purpose and to live a meaningful life. So really that internal desire to be more, to do more, to contribute more. And the fact that I take action towards those goals, towards those intentions, again, consistently, I think that makes me a high performer.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, there's learning more, that internal desire, again, to just keep learning and growing, adding in new habits. Like I talked about, changing your thoughts and your beliefs to ones that serve you and support you and support the creation of what you want. Looking to mentors, which goes with the learning and the striving. I love what you're talking about there when, that your best level of high performance is like just to keep working on oneself. And I think that's what happens when we serve our clients as well, is that we let them know that this is a journey. This isn't just like a one-stop shop. We are continually working on ourselves to get ourselves to our highest potential, to get ourselves into our highest frame of mind. And so our mindset can be on fire. So our behaviors can match that mindset. So our physicality and our frequency can also match that mindset as well. Right. And because if our habits, our thoughts, our beliefs, our way of being in the world is not aligned with that, high performance, then the frequency we're putting out there is a low one. And not only does it not help us achieve our potential and our purpose, but it affects other people.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So it's about knowing that you're here not just to be here, you're here to do for others, to contribute. And that when you think about frequency, it's like, what frequency do I need to bring to be be that role model, to inspire and motivate others, and to make a difference. And I think that's everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is this, we are in an unusual time. So I also want to highlight that if what you need to do at the moment in going into 2021 is that you need to just work on yourself, and that you don't have anything to give right now in the capacity of where you are in your life, that is also okay. Sometimes some people just need to work with who they are right now, and they work with themselves for a while, and then they can go into the framework of contribution. But sometimes that contribution just has to be with them for the moment, just especially with what we're going through that now. I just thought it might be just a good thing to say that.
Yeah, and I agree, and 100%. And I think that, I was just saying this to somebody this morning. So New Year's is always about like setting goals and those resolutions and all that stuff. And I said this year, it isn't that I don't have any goals. I mean, I have a few things I really want to accomplish. I have whittled it down to 3 instead of like 25, which is normal for me. But my biggest goal is to work on me, because the more I get out of my way and the more I am aligned, right, the more everything else becomes possible. And also aligns with that. So I'm a big advocate of working on you first. And if that's all you can do right now, then that's what you do, because that's probably the most important thing to do, no matter where you are and what's going on in your life. Yeah,
absolutely. Because it will then impact loads of other people.
That's right.
That influence. Think
about how inspiring people are to us and motivating they are to us when they make changes in their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, what does productivity mean to you? Because that's one of the high performance habits, and what does productivity mean to you?
Well, first I'll answer that, but first I'll say I was excited to talk about productivity because people are always telling me how productive I am. Like they look at all the things going on in my world and they're like, oh my God, you're so productive. And I look at my life and I'm like, like my day-to-day life. And I'm like, I am so unproductive. Like maybe I'm not unproductive. Maybe that's a little harsh, but I could be so much more productive, right?
Yeah.
So for me, productivity means the ability to get things done effectively and efficiently. So that's sort of my definition, getting it done effectively and efficiently. But if you break that down a little bit, it's definitely working smarter, not harder.
Yes.
And it's focusing my attention in the time I have so that I have more time to do the other things, whether that is my life's work or whether it's, whether it's being with my family. Productivity equates to freedom, because the more productive you are, the more time you have to do other things, right? It's not about...
Can you explain that a little bit? So the more productive you are, the more time you have to do other things. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, because think about it. If I sit down at my desk in the morning and I have my 5 tasks that I'm going to get done today, right? And I am not productive, like I have an unproductive day, which happens to all of us, right? And I get stuck in my email box handling a bunch of stuff for other people, and I end up on social media because there's something I'm avoiding, or maybe I'm tired today, and so I'm just working very slowly. What happens is, and this has happened to me more than I'd like to say. What happens is that work that was supposed to get done that now doesn't get done bleeds over to the next day and to the next day and to the next day. And if I have an unproductive week, then what happens is the weekend comes and I don't have a weekend.
Okay.
I work from home and for myself. So it's not like I leave work, right? So some people would leave their works, but their jobs, right? And then go back to their job on Monday, let's say. But now on Monday, they have all this stuff they never got done by Friday. Right. So it bleeds into your free time. So, but if you are productive, meaning effective in the time you have, like if you focus your attention in the time you have and you really knock the stuff out that needs to get done, whether that is cooking, laundry, a book project, whatever it is that you have to do, then you have free time.
Yes.
That's freedom.
Yes, absolutely. I love that.
Right?
That's a really lovely explanation. I really just wanted to drill down on that because you didn't want to skip over it. That's really fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. So also for me, I'd say it's not necessarily about doing more. Sometimes it's about doing less. And that goes back to alignment and frequency and what you're attracting into your experience. Sometimes you really have to slow down and just align. It does go back to doing your life's work to some extent. And again, if you're not at that point, okay, I understand. But if there's something that you know you're meant to do here, to me, productivity means focusing on doing that, doing the right things, not being productive necessarily on social media, unless that's on purpose for you. If that's on purpose, then you want to be productive on social media, right? But knowing what the right things are. And I talk a lot about being on purpose. And for me, that's a big part of this is what do you feel you're here to accomplish? And don't take that to mean that you have to write a book or create a course or become a speaker. You don't have to do anything big necessarily. It could be that your purpose is to do whatever job you do and provide for your family. It could mean taking care of your children. It could mean any number of things. But whatever that is, to me, productivity is about staying on purpose. So that you're fulfilling that purpose and achieving your potential. Every step you take makes you more productive. So really, it's just knowing the priorities, what's important, and being effective with those.
Yeah, I mean, I really love that. I always say that I stay in my purpose so I can be on purpose. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that my purpose right now, every time I get up in the morning, is to connect, champion, celebrate. I know that that's what I do, and I know why I do it. And I know it's the thing that makes me want to get out of bed in the morning. It's the thing that gives me joy, and it's the thing also that really stokes my energy. And that's what makes me productive, because I know that it aligns with those values. It aligns with the person I want to be. So I get my stuff done. On the days when I don't get my stuff done, because no one's perfect, what I do is I've got tools in my treasure tools of high performance tools and my NLP tools that I can take out of my little rucksack and say, okay, I'm going to go this way because this is going to make me more aligned, or this is going to tweak my concentration or my focus. So it's just knowing what to do when you come off purpose to bring you back onto purpose as well.
Exactly. And sometimes that's, for me, sometimes it's all about the self-talk.
Yes.
Right. To actually, first you have to become conscious that you're off purpose. Okay. Today I have spent my whole day in my email box and on social media, and what the heck's going on here? Nina, pay attention. That is not on purpose for me today. I still have 5 tasks to do, and I got to do them. And so it's that kind of self-talk of, okay, I'm conscious of what's happening. And it's good to explore why, but sometimes for me, it's just like, Nina, this is it. Now you have to do this thing. Now, in this moment, you will turn off email, turn off social media, and you are not allowed back in there. And you will do this thing. And, and whether that means setting an alarm so that I'm feel the pressure of a deadline. I'm trained as a magazine journalist, so deadlines are my friends. So, even that kind of deadline, if you have an hour to get this done, will focus my attention in that moment on what needs to be done. But I think we need that kind of self-talk of, I can do this. Now is the time. I can do this. Get down to it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I just want to say, Deirdre McCarb just said, Happy New Year, Nadine. Thank you for all you do for others. Oh, thank you, Deirdre. That's so wonderful. And listen, if anybody has got any questions for Nina, please put some questions in the chat, especially around creation and authorship and productivity. She's happy to answer them if she can. So tell me, Nina, how does productivity show up in your life?
I think it shows up in those moments when, maybe it's not one moment, a series of moments where I really crush a task. Like if I have a deadline or something that I want to accomplish, and I sit down and I really am focused and I do it. And I get up afterwards. I'm like, wow, got that done. So that's sort of simple productivity, right? Where you're just focused and you're in the flow and you complete something. Sometimes productivity, from a creativity standpoint, is getting in the flow, allowing the information, the knowledge, the guidance that will help me do what I do, to come through me. So sometimes that's productivity. It's often about getting out of my own way. Letting myself show up 100% for whatever I'm doing. And that could be folding laundry, working out, having a conversation with my husband, cooking a meal, but just, which sounds like mindfulness and presence, which it is to a certain extent, but getting out of your way is also that self-talk. When it's too hard, I can't do it. Why am I bothering? That's when you're in your own way. I always say that.
And that's unproductive as well, isn't it?
It is super unproductive. And what I always say is that if you're feeling challenged to do something, it's not about external conditions or any of that. It's all happening up here. The only thing between you and what you want to accomplish is you. And the you that I'm talking about is mostly in your head, right? So really it's about getting out of your own way. And, and not to repeat myself, but I think that also productivity shows up for me when I am on purpose, when I'm doing what I need to do in this world and contributing, or just, like I said, even if it's, people who are parents, you remember that's being on purpose too, right? That's being productive when you can do what you need to do for your family or for your kids. But it's in those, but productivity isn't just about getting it done. I want to be really clear about that, because even though for me, a lot of times that's what it feels like, right? I'm focused on what can I get done today. But it's also about being productive, like in a workout. I'm going to go work out and exercise, then I don't want to do it in a way that I don't really get anything out of it. That's not productive. I want to have a conversation with someone I'm in relationship with. It's not productive if I go into it with a lot of anger or not being present or whatever. So you can have a productive conversation, which leads to something, right? I think we have to be really careful about the not just ticking tasks off the list.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think even today, I knew that I had these 2 chats to do today. And so I thought, what is the most productive way to make sure that when I'm on these 2 chats, I'm here fully present and in energy? Do you know what, Nina? The 2 things I thought about is I need to make sure that I've eaten well before and after and in between. And I have to also make sure that I've rested before and in between. And I also need to make sure that I've had some fun.
There you go.
And isn't it like, what you need? If you ask yourself, what is going to make me productive? What is going to keep me productive? What is going to keep me showing up on purpose? And it's the bits in between. That need to be looked after. It's the little steps in between that need that loving care, that self-care, that, because I need to be productive in that, that then allows me to be productive in a contributive way.
I love that you added that, because if the majority of like my clients, when they say they're not productive, it goes back to, did you sleep enough last night or in the last week? Because your body needs sleep. Your brain needs sleep. And you can't be productive if you're not taking care of your body, including, and maybe most importantly, your brain, right? So you have to have sleep. You have to eat well.
Yes.
The people who tell me that they're falling asleep every afternoon, or they get to their desk, in the morning, super lethargic. I'm like, what did you have for breakfast or for lunch?
Yes.
You need to pay attention, because it could be that big burger you're eating every day for lunch is not contributing to your ability to focus and be awake and, in the afternoon. But I love what you said about fun, because the thing is, we know that if we just smile,
Yeah.
we immediately change our energy.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you're having fun, like
Yeah.
this conversation for me is fun,
Yeah.
right? So then it's not draining.
No,
So,
exactly.
right? So then I can be more productive because my energy is higher just by the fact that I'm having a good time. I'm hanging out with my friend and, right across the pond. And and the topic is fun and enjoy, so that raises my energy. And so we have to think about energy, which is a high performance topic, right?
Yeah.
One of our pillars is energy
Yeah.
and physiology mastery. And so we have to think about that. What energy are we bringing to what we're doing? Because that's going to have an impact on your productivity.
Absolutely. A major. And that's why when we do high performance that we zero down on energy. Because we don't just mean energy in your body, we mean energy in your emotional, your mind, your relationships, your work, your career, everything. How is
Yes.
that energy being done? We've got Denai Lenny saying, yes, so important. We have belated Christmas pudding, food and fun, and an evening off. Happy New Year. And thank you to both of you for inspiring us to start 2021 in a productive way. Thank you. Thank
Our
you
pleasure.
so much. Yeah, absolutely. So can you give us 3 tips for people wishing to have more productivity in their lives?
Yeah. So the first one would be to stop making excuses, because the issue is that we have things we want to do or we need to do, and we're putting them off for whatever reason, whether that's fear or, we could say procrastination, but that's usually fear or some sort of avoidance, right? But whatever is going on for you that you're saying, these are the reasons I can't do it.
Yeah.
Stop. They're not reasons. They're excuses. Remember that somebody recently said this to me, that if you put a hula hoop on the ground and you stood in the middle of it, you were responsible for everything within the hula hoop circle, right? So you are responsible for your life and for yourself. And so if you really want to do something, take responsibility for that and just do it, and stop listening to your habit voice, which is going on in your head that's saying you shouldn't do whatever it is or can't do it, because your mind, your subconscious mind, says anything new is scary and dangerous. So you have to convince your kind of habit voice that it's okay for you to do this thing. But you have to, again, it goes back to self-talk and beliefs and thoughts, right? That we have to realize that it's what we're telling ourselves that makes the difference. And so those excuses are just us telling ourselves that we're afraid, or we don't think we can do it, or we don't deserve to, or whatever it is. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I think, I was listening to Sadhguru today live, and he was talking about, that if there's one thing that he would love us to go into 2021 with, was conscious, responsible action. So that we've taken the time to have responsibility for ourselves, which is responsibility is really just responding to life rather than reacting to life.
Yes.
Yeah, but making that really conscious, so that it's thought through, so that it's planned, so that it's scheduled, and then that it's active, that it's done in a way that is productive, I suppose, Yeah. And I think we can make a lot of excuses in our lives about not just not being productive, but for the reasons why we can't have fun and that we can't enjoy life anymore, And I think that's part of the equation. When I hear you say no excuses, I would love in 2021 for people to not have the thing, or to make them feel like just because everything around them may be on hold, that they remember that they're not on hold. They are a living, breathing human. They will never be on hold until each of our time stops, whenever that's supposed to be. None of us know that, So if we're not on hold, then we have to be consciously responsible in our actions and stay productive on a daily basis for our lives.
Right. Well, and if you go back to the hula hoop example, right, we can only do what we can do within our hula hoop circle. right? So the pandemic is raging around us.
Yes.
And the economy is doing what it's doing, and all of those things, right? Here in the U.S., the political environment, all of that's doing something. And while I'm not saying we can't have any impact on that, if we really want to be conscious,
yes,
and take responsibility, it happens within our circle.
Yes.
Now we can reach beyond that. Like what we're doing in that circle might reach beyond.
Yes.
But we're only responsible for ourselves and our lives.
Yes.
I mean, that's that response, right? Like you said, when we say responsibility, well, yeah, we all have responsibility for the other humans and for the earth and for all those things, right? But it still is happening here in my circle, how I choose to respond to what is happening around me. And I think we have a huge, huge opportunity right now to choose our responses and to step into our personal power and align and put out a frequency that is healing to all of humanity.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. So what would your second one be?
The second one would be, I guess I would say it like do the hard things first.
Yeah.
Because which goes along with no excuses, but it's because the things that are the hardest for us tend to be the ones that are most on purpose, that are our life's work. And we stop doing them because we don't do them because of fear or self-doubt, which goes back to the negative thinking and our, limiting beliefs. But I think that if you want to be productive, you have to get to your desk or whatever, or start your day saying, what are the things that, if I stopped making the excuses, what are the things that need to get done, and which one scares me the most? Because that's probably the needle moving activity for the day, right? And so I really think that that's a big part of this about being productive.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I do is I have my high performance diary. So the HPX Life High Performance Academy, Brendan has created this diary that we can use every day, that when we wake up in the morning, we've got a place to write our thoughts, how we want to show up, what we've got to do, who we want to call. I mean, it's such a productive diary.
It is.
But it helps me to show up on purpose. It helps me to align and to recognize when I'm steering off, or when I need to come back into the space to maybe change direction sometimes. Because sometimes part of being productive is about making sure what you get your stuff done, but what has been put to you in your world that also needs completing, or what have you started but you haven't finished?
Yeah, which at the end of the year, that's a big one, right? We're all going, oh, shoot, I didn't finish all those things that I said I was going to finish.
Yeah, and if that's one thing I would say to people, is if there's anything that you have open that you haven't finished, write down those things and spend the beginning of the year completing them. Nobody has to have a New Year's resolution, but doing things, completing things, raises your self-esteem and raises your confidence. So actually, that would be a real favor to yourself if you could do that.
Yeah, and it increases your sense of self-integrity.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So if we're not self-integral, meaning that we don't do what we tell ourselves we're going to do, then our self-esteem is lowered and our confidence level is lowered. And you really have to look at how if you tell somebody else you're going to do something, the likelihood is you do it. But when you tell yourself you're going to do it, whether it's something as small as, like for me, the last 3 months, for several years, I kept saying I was going to get up earlier. Yeah. And I would get up when the alarm went off. I would not hit the snooze button. And this sounds like a small thing, but it makes a huge difference in my day. Yeah. And so for the last 3 months, I've been like, no, I am going to be the person who gets up when the alarm goes off without hitting the snooze button. So that's self-integrity. Yeah. I said I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. But you might also have projects where you said you were going to do it and you didn't. And so now's the time to look to the new year and say, if you can't finish it, well, where you are in the next few hours.
Yeah.
If you can't do that, then how are you going to put it on the calendar for the new year? And why weren't you productive with that? Since we're talking about productivity, why weren't you productive? Why didn't you complete it? Is it because you no longer have passion for it?
Yeah.
Is it because it's not on purpose for you? Is it something you felt obligated to do?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If it's something you have to do, then okay. So, it needs to go on next year's planning board,
And
right?
I really, and we talk about planning. One of the things that we talk about in high performance, as you will agree, is about making sure that everything is scheduled.
Yeah.
because that makes us more productive. Everything is scheduled. From our fun time to our playtime to our rest time to our, to any time, that's all scheduled. Because actually then we feel like we've accomplished and we feel like we've produced or become the person that we want to be in the day on purpose. It's so funny how they all align. They all come back.
They do. They do.
It's so weird how they all come back into the same space.
And the funny thing is that people think that scheduling their life means that they have no freedom. And the fact is that because scheduling makes you productive, you have more freedom.
Yeah.
Right? And there are the creative types. I work with a lot of them who feel like they want to just flow with it, right? When I get inspired, I'm going to do the thing. And but the fact is that if that's how you live your life, you're not going to be productive because you're waiting for inspiration.
Yeah.
As opposed to creating it.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, Nina, I had to learn that the hard way. I'm an international soprano. I sing all over the world. And I think there was a time in my life where I really thought that, all I just do is I just sing and I just, just. And then you realize if I don't get productive, if I don't start scheduling everything in my diary, if I don't know what I'm going to do in my coaching times and what I'm going to do in my practice times and how far things are to where I'm going to sing them to where they need to be ready, I am never going to make the cut of where I want to be in my life. I'm never going to do it. Yeah. So I'm so glad that you highlight that to the people that you work with.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you brought up scheduling because that wasn't one of mine, my tips, but it's definitely a big one. I mean, there's so many things I could share, but that is a big one because I look at my days and if I don't actually put on my calendar my writing time, and stick to it. So that's the big thing too that's the self-integrity part. I write at this time. If I don't do that and I allow myself to go with the flow and like I get to my desk and so my team that helps me is in the UK and I'm here in the US. So by the time I get to my desk at 8:30 or something, their day is halfway done. They're heading towards the end of their day. And so I very often have to go to email to see what they still need from me. Right. But that then opens Pandora's box. And before I know it, my writing time is gone. And all I did was handle tasks that were in my email. Right. So that's where it's not just about the scheduling. The scheduling's super important, but it's sticking to your schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
And getting done the important things, the things that you need to get done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's your third one, your third tip?
The third tip, this one is my favorite, is to be the person who can do the things that you want to do and have the things that you want to have.
Wow. Say that again, Nina.
To be the person who can do the things you want to do and have the things you want to have. Yeah, wow. So there is a misconception and people are always thinking that they're always saying they're waiting to have something. Like if I had more money, then I would go on that trip and then I would be well-traveled. Or if I had more time, I would write the book and then I would get to be an author and all the things that go with that. But it's backwards because we have to be the person who can do those things first. So that goes back to stepping into your best self.
Yes.
So if you have this, if you have goals for the new year and you want to do those things, first you have to be that person. So again, I work with a lot of writers and they'll say, Nina, I'm not writing consistently. So I had a client, she kept telling me that, I'm just not writing consistently and I'm really struggling and I'm not a writer. And she was a therapist. She kept saying, I'm not a writer, and then we managed to get her on a schedule where she was writing every day. Even if it was 15 minutes, she was writing every single day. And after about a month, she came to me and she said, Nina, I finally get it. I'm a writer because I write. She was doing something, but she had to change her identity. And now that she said, I'm a writer, because I write, she could continue on that way, right? But I don't want to get that confused with the doing part of it. She had to change her identity and say, I am a writer. So you have to ask yourself, we're going into the new year. Who do you want to be? And what kind of person would be productive at the things that you want to do, whether that's losing weight, having a better relationship, being a better parent, writing a book, creating a course, whatever it is you're going to do, better coach, step into coaching, whatever it is that you want to do, who do you have to be to make that happen? Right? So I had to be the person who got up every morning when the alarm went off and didn't hit the snooze button for me to actually not hit the snooze button. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And myself and Louise were talking about this morning, actually, about, that when you're visioning or when you're seeing your life as you want to work from the place, not to the place.
Yes.
So as if you're already there. And that's the same thing you're saying now, is be that person already. Yes.
Because the other thing is, if you're here wanting there, like you're here and you want to be there, you're in lack.
Yes, exactly.
Because you're wanting to be somewhere you're not, or you're wanting to be someone you're not. So you have to actually be it in order to create it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that.
And it goes back to what you were talking about energy, which, we more often than not, when I talk about productivity, I talk about, what energy do you bring to your desk in the morning or to whatever your chores are for the day? What's the energy, the emotional, the spiritual, the physical energy you're bringing, right? So that's that aspect of, I'm going to show up well rested because I want to be that person who shows up with the energy. And so I'm going to be well rested and I'm going to be the person who eats well, right? I'm going to be the person who meditates before I go on stage or whatever, whatever it is. I'm going to be that person who does my breathing exercises before I see a client. I'm going to be an organized person, right? So it's huge. It's a huge shift.
I mean, even it's like when you talk about and what I feel is where we started when you were talking about consistency. That those things have to be done on a consistent basis. You can't just say, I'll be that for a couple of days and then come off the trail. You've got to stay on the path and keep showing up consistently.
You do.
And nobody is saying that is easy. That's the whole point. This is not a game for wimps. It really is.
No, it isn't. No, it's not. You have to be very, very strong and tenacious. You really do. And what it reminds me of, so this past week, so we had the to get a little woo-woo, we had the planets aligning.
Jupiter and
the conjunction.
Yeah, the conjunction. Yeah,
it's the conjunction. And I was exhausted after that. There was something about the energy. I was just wiped out, right? And so my alarm goes off in the morning. Well, the same with the new moon. Like I didn't sleep well. And so then my alarm goes off and my husband gets up. It used to be my husband got up super early and went off to work. And so it wasn't that hard for me after he left to then get up. I would hit my alarm a few times, but when I knew he was out the door and the house was quiet, I would get up. And now that's not the case. And so he sleeps till like 7:30. So I was sleeping to 7:30 all the time. And so anyway, to go back to the conjunction, all that. So I had been for the last I don't know, 45 days or so, I have been getting up with my alarm. Okay. Sometimes I don't set it for 6:30. I want my 8 hours of sleep.
Yes.
So I will adjust my alarm, but when the alarm goes off, I am the person who doesn't hit snooze. And this week and last week with the conjunction, I was tired. And in the morning, I was like, I saw myself go through it. The alarm goes off. I'm like, oh, don't want to get up.
Yeah.
And I hit snooze. And within a minute, I'm like, no, Nina, go back and turn the alarm off and get up.
Yeah.
And so it's this constant, I don't want to say battle, but it's this constant effort. This reminder that who you want to be. I don't want to be the person who hits snooze. And if I hit it today, I'll hit it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because it's habitual, right? And so but to go back to what you were saying, we do have that tendency to fall back.
Yeah.
And you have to keep telling yourself, no, that's not who I want to be. I want to be the person who does X.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it's important that you say, this isn't the person I want to be. So it is really important to affirm who you want to be, or affirm to who you want to be. And one of the ways that I think I would love to leave with a tip for people is that to do this in the mirror. Say this to yourself, look into your own eyes and see you and talk to you, and tell yourself, who do you want to be every day? Who do you desire to show up as every day? How do you desire to feel every day? Who do you want to be surrounded by every day? Who do you want to talk to? Like, affirm or reform these every day. It's really, really important.
And the mirror exercise is a great one, because I think what happens, one of the reasons we don't step into our best self is because of old programming, Again, I always go back to thoughts and beliefs, because it's all what's up here, right? It's the stories we're telling ourselves. And we have stories that we have come up with. They're not real, but things happened, and we make up these stories about ourselves, and we tell ourselves we are not worthy or deserving of what it is we want.
And therefore we do it over and over
and over. Right. Those stories, we tell them to ourselves, we tell them to other people, we put them out into the universe with so much emotional energy that we continually create that. And then we look in the mirror and we say, you don't deserve to be that person. You're not worthy to be that person who could have that life or do those things. And so this comes back to self-love. And you have to also look in the mirror every day and smile at yourself and look yourself in the eyes and say, I love you. And I love you how you are. I love my body. I love my hair. I love, even the bad stuff. Love it all. I love my anger. I love whatever, but I love myself enough to also say, this is who I'm going to be. Because you know what that is? That's standing for yourself. So if you're going to stand in your hula hoop, stand for yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And be your best cheerleader. And tell yourself, look in the mirror, Nina, you have the ability to do that. Whatever it is, you have the ability to do that. You're strong enough. You're smart enough. I love you enough to push you to do that. And that's your job. It's not somebody else's job to do.
And it is also the fact of sometimes you need someone to be that witness for you or that mirror for you. So that is okay for you to say to someone, listen, this is what I'm going through. I want to say this, but will you go, I hear you. And affirm it. I hear you.
Yes, for sure. We often need a witness.
Cheerleaders. We need the people championing us. We need that. There's some of us, and we deserve that as well in order for us to achieve and to be, because some of these milestones, some of these steps, some of these productivity moments take loads and loads of courage. And you say you've got your team. I love hearing that you've got your team, so even in those uncourageous moments, that you're going to have this team around you that you can go, actually, I need this done, and I need this done, or where do I need to go next? You've got this sounding board. That's amazing.
Right. And don't you think that's why we have coaches?
You know what? And it's why coaches have coaches. I have a coach.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that and definitely in 2021, if you don't have a coach or something like that, I just think,
get a coach or join a group. I mean, there are tons of group coaching programs. Like this year, the last 3 months, I was in a personal and spiritual growth program, very similar to the one that I run. But I needed and I remember the moment exactly when I was like, I am so stuck. Like, I'm a coach, but I was like, I am stuck. And if I don't get somebody to help me get unstuck, I'm going to stay where I am. And that's productivity too, to say, I know that to get to the next level of whatever, I need help. And it's okay to need help no matter what level you're at. Matter of fact, some of the most successful people in the world have coaches. Matter of fact, they all do.
Yeah, they all
know.
Do.
Yeah. Okay. You know that the first Brendan Burchard event I ever went to was when he still had the Expert Industry Association. And I don't know if you remember that. And I got invited to go, and I watched as speaker after speaker after speaker got on stage and talked about the huge financial and time investments they made in masterminds, coaching, groups. And I was floored at the time. And now I totally understand it, right? Because we all need somebody to be our cheerleader and to be our guide and our mentor and our role model and to teach us. So it goes back to that learning, that constant drive to learn and to step into your best self. And we can't do it alone. Most of us cannot do it alone.
Yeah. And that's where the consistency shows up. And that's where, so thank you so much, Nina. You've been amazing today. I've loved our conversation. And, whether you're watching now or later, thank you for being here. So it's just really fantastic. Nina, where can people find you? You work with writers, you work with authors, you write books yourself, you coach people, you take people through group programs. I mean, where can people find you?
So the best place is to just go to ninaamir.com. So it's 2 A's in the middle, NINAAMIR.com. And all my personal and spiritual growth stuff is right there, easy to find. But if you go up to I could give you another website, but just go up to the navigation bar at the top if you're a writer or a blogger, and you'll see a tab there that will take you to my courses, programs. I have 3 different blogs. It's all on ninaamir.com. And I just want to say, so I get a chance to tell you that I was honored to be asked. I'm honored to be the special one from the US.
We're all special. Everybody from the US is special. I just loved that you were in the creativity zone. And I know that you're in that creativity zone. I know that you're also in the metaphysical zone. I know that you're in the intuitive zone. And I just think you speak to all these different spaces. And I think it's just so wonderful that, while we were all having a UK contingent, we were like, we've got to remember that we're all brothers and sisters in this. So I just want to make sure that we include part of the US in this kind of little series that we did. So I'm so happy that you did come on.
Well, I was happy to be asked and honored as well. And it was funny because I'll just tell this quickly that there was a moment when I was watching you interview Natasha. And I was like, well, I'd really like to be asked by Nadine. I would really like her to ask me. And then when you asked me, and it was like New Year's Eve, and I was like, really? And then I was like, oh, but I asked for that. Like, I created that. So why wouldn't I say yes?
Exactly. So that's how, and that's also, can we just say that, because we don't have much time, but I really love that you've just come to this point about being productive. So another way to be productive is to metaphysically ask for what you wish and desire to show up in your life.
Exactly.
Because if
you're very clear.
Yeah, because if you're very clear and you believe it's coming, then when it shows up, it can show up really quick.
This didn't take that long. And so, yes, I know we need to end, but we're in the new year, right? Yeah. New Year's Eve. This is the night to get clear about what you want in 2021. What do you want? Not what you don't want. Yeah. Leave what you don't want behind, and you can get clarity on that and say, I'm leaving this in 2020, but this is what I want in 2021. And as you said, I believe it. I believe that I can have this, I can create it. Yeah. Because that's what you're doing with your intention and your belief. You're creating it. You're drawing it to you.
And absolutely. And if you want, and if you wish to really be successful in it, make sure you either phone a friend and let them hold you accountable to it. Work with a coach. Join a group. Join a meetup group. Just any way that you need to make sure that you live out your integrity. I love it, that self-integrity that you want to do. Don't just write another New Year's resolution. We all know they don't work.
Especially if you're not being that person who can fulfill that resolution.
Exactly. So, just take that time to be made accountable. It's really, really, really important. Yes. Oh, thank you, Nina. Thank you for showing up with your grace. Thank you for showing up with all your wisdom and intelligence today. It's been so lovely. Every time I've spoken to you, every time I've met you, you've been so warm and so friendly and so embracing. It's so lovely to have this Brendan Burchard, HPX Live, High Performance Academy. He's created this community of strength, of leaders, of warriors, of Amazonians that are just doing this work and really want to be here and being visionaries and really supporting other people's visions to take them through to the next level. And you are always firing on all cylinders. I love how you show up, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule, because I know that you've got a busy schedule, and that we're on New Year's Eve, that you would take the time to be with us. So thank you so, 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 so much. It's been
thank you.
All right, then.
It was an honor and a pleasure.
Take care, everybody. Take care, and Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy 2021!
Happy 2020! I can bring out my dancing guy.
I love it. Bye-bye. And remember, just every day that you live and breathe, you're alive. It's worth it. Everything that you desire can be yours in every moment by your choice on a consistent basis if you just take the first step. All right, then. See you later, everybody. Bye.